Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 14th. You start with the tree and the star. So I'm using the Gilded Lenormand again, and the Gilded Lenormand, in Lenormand, we use combinations to read. And the tree and the star can represent, together, can represent kind of like some sort of deep healing. Or going through healing just in general. It could also literally represent like a treatment. So if you are getting some sort of treatment, I really can't say too much about that on YouTube, but it looks good. Let's put it that way with those cards. So we'll just say that. So you start with the Knight of Swords, the Tower, and the Eight of Swords. Well, what I was going to say just got ruined, well, if for the better, because Tower and Judgment is the most powerful combination in the tarot. And, those two cards really, when they come up together, it makes the reading much more positive with the Tower because together they kind of represent like a major revelation or a major wake-up call that you could be having this week, which is, it looks good. You have the Six of Wands, Judgment, Ace of Swords, like some sort of victory. You have the Ten of Pentacles as well. So Pisces, this looks amazing. Now, here's one thing that I also want to say to you, is that the Knight of Swords in the Tower kind of says, do not jump to conclusions. I always say that the Knight of Swords is my card of someone screaming, the sky is falling, right? And like, I don't really have any good examples, but it's like, sometimes, I'm sure you've all been in a situation where someone says something to you at work, like, oh my God, I heard, everybody's getting fired. And then you freak out. And then later on you find out it's not true, right? And that is how I feel about the Knight of Swords sometimes, and definitely with the Tower in this reading. The sky is falling on the Tower. And so don't, like, if I always say it's very easy to tell when you are having one of these reactions, because it's one of those reactions where you just react, but you don't really think about it, where it's like, you ever like freak out about something really quickly, and then when you think about it and slow down, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right? And that is the Knight of Swords and the Tower. It is like one of those reactions that you have where you just freak out about something without really actually thinking it through. And again, it might sound simple, but it changed my life because when, I realized a long time ago that when I have those reactions, I just need to be like, hold on, wait a second, I'm just having a reaction to something that might not actually be true. So let's like slow down and take a breath and think about this before we jump to any conclusions, right? And the Knight of Swords is a terrible card for jumping to conclusions. And that's definitely the feeling I get here off of these two cards. You have the Tower. Again, Tower and Judgment is like a big wake-up call, major revelation, a major realization that you could be having as well. Looks really good. You have the Tower, Six of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, and the Judgment would kind of be the wake-up call. The Ace of Swords can be like some sort of truth that you're accepting as well. So this could be like a big change or a rapid change that you're making. But so far, it looks good. We'll see what else comes up. I always say the Tower can be uncomfortable, but it can still be a good thing. I think the Tower gets a bad rap in the tarot because really it's not a bad card. These people are being forced to see reality for how it actually is. And I don't know, I'd rather be in reality, right? I'd rather escape the matrix and not be stuck in the lie. So, sure, it could be uncomfortable, although I don't think it is, because you have the Six of Wands here. It's like some sort of victory. But also, like I said, this could just be a moment this week where someone kind of says something that isn't true. It might not even be someone. Again, like, don't jump to conclusions. You might see things, especially, financially related, Neptune and Pisces. Neptune's in Aries now. So, there could be like those moments where you like see something. Well, let's just put it this way. With Neptune and Aries, right? It'll be there for a few, kind of closer to the end of the year. Then it's going to retrograde back into Pisces before moving into Aries on January 26th of 2026. That's when Neptune will really be in Aries to stay, right? But until that time, and well, between now and for 14 years, right? What you need to avoid is kind of like just thinking that things are bad or feeding your brain things especially about your finances, but it could be anything, where you are worrying too much about the future, right? And if you can avoid those things that make you feel that way, like bad about your finances or bad about whatever, then you're going to have a much better time and you'll be seeing things clearly. Neptune is illusions. It is a lack of clarity. It is muddled thinking, right? And so we have to be very clear. And we have that right here, Ace of Swords. So that's kind of the feeling I get off of that 8 of Swords right there as well. Let's see what else wants to come up for you in this first row. Again, the star and the tree are 2 very good cards. So, things could be going well even. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands. Yes, just no rushing. Just in general, I would say, like, no jumping to conclusions, no rushing into things, no assuming things. Knight of Wands can be inconsistent energy as well. Like, it's literally saying to me that the energy could be inconsistent this week, so I would be careful of that. With the Tower, you have the Hermit. The Hermit is kind of like about being in hermit mode, and I kind of also get this feeling. This is almost a message, is what I feel like saying to Pisces. Like, I'm not ready to commit to this message yet. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe the energy. But it's almost like is something that you are going to face this week, but like in a good way, like in a confident way, in a bold way. We have the Queen of Wands in the next row. And so it's almost like you have the opportunity to kind of really rise up with that Judgment card, or you have the opportunity to, instead of like hiding from something like the Hermit, it's like you have the opportunity to overcome something. Again, I would like to see more cards that really would say that in this reading, but you do have some good cards for kind of like overcoming things. 6 of Wands, Ace of Swords, they're both really good for kind of like charging through something or overcoming something. But I would just like to see like the Chariot. Even really, I would like to see the 8 of Wands. The 8 of the 8 of Wands would be good, yes, is where I was going with that, because it could be like charging through something. But what I really meant to say is the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands can be conflict or competition, but it can also be about learning from the competition, and it can say that you're overcoming it. So I would love if that came up. With the 8 of Swords, you have the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups can be love, of course, so there could be love coming in for you. As I've said to you before, the next few months are pretty good for love for Pisces. I would say really the rest of the year. So if you want love, could be. 2 of Cups can also be you and your higher self. And going up to the Judgment card, this right here is your higher self angel at the top of the Judgment card. So the 2 of Cups can say if you're feeling stuck or if you're not sure what to do next, all you have to do is ask your higher self. Meditate, pray, ask for guidance. And sometimes you get it when you ask, right? Just that simple. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Sadness Female card and this Success and Pride card coming in for you. So clearly could be success coming in for you. I feel like that Sadness card is saying be careful of sad people, literally. I think that Pisces, because, Pisces, we are kind of like emotional sponges. And I think us Pisces can attract sad people, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because we help people, which is great. It's only a bad thing if you start sucking up the sadness. If you become sad because you're surrounding yourself with sad people, right? And it's like sometimes we also have to have boundaries. We can't save everybody. And, I think that's a hard thing, like a hard lesson that Pisces always has to learn in life, is that really you can't save everyone. And on top of that, Pisces is here to save themselves. I mean, like literally your karma, 12th house, is saving yourself. So I think that in a lot of ways Pisces is clearing karma. North Node is in Pisces and for another 16 months or 15 months, whatever it is. And so this is a pretty big deal. It takes like 18 years for the North Node to come back to our sign. And so I think for a lot of Pisces, it's time to save yourself. And that is what I feel this is encouraging you to do, right? Part of the reason I say this is also the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands doesn't really represent potential, but sometimes I do feel that the Queen of Wands is saying that the person I'm reading for has so much potential. And the other interesting thing is that you end with the High Priestess, which is you, of course, Pisces, but the High Priestess is the card of potential. Everybody reads her as intuition and all this other stuff, which is definitely true. But she has no roof over her head. And, the story of the High Priestess is that she's sitting outside the Temple of Solomon, but there's no roof over her head. There is, no temple, even though that's where she's sitting. And so it says that she has unlimited potential. There's nothing that can stop her if she puts her mind to it. The Queen of Wands is somewhat similar. She's my card of learning as you go, and she has this sunflower right here, and that sunflower points towards the sun. And so she needs to move towards love, joy, happiness, peace, things that make her feel good and excitement, and she needs to not listen to anyone else. She has this black cat right here. During the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky, but, the whole point of the cat is that she doesn't care what anyone thinks. She just likes the cat. So what this means for you is that you need to not care what anyone says about the sky falling. You need to not care what people say about the changes that you're making in your life. People are always going to have something to say about, changes when we make them. And, because it points things out in their life that they're not doing. So, anytime you're growing, people are going to have something to say about it because it basically triggers them. And so I feel the Queen of Wands is saying, it's time for you to be bold, assertive, really go for what you want. You have the Five of Cups. Yeah, don't get stuck here, Pisces. He's grieving the loss of something that he no longer enjoys. But if he is grateful for what he has, he gets this bridge and this castle. It's literally time for Pisces to build something secure and long-term in their life, literally just based off of all the astrology you're going through. It is time for Pisces to experience something long-term. And that could be anything. It could be a long-term connection. It could be a long-term business. It could just be you building a solid foundation in your life. But we have to, again, with that North Node there in Pisces and also Saturn, we're being asked to put in the work to build something long-term and secure. Next year, Saturn will move into Aries with Neptune in Aries, which is actually pretty good. I've had a lot of comments from people who are worried about Neptune and Aries, and I especially Pisces because it's your second house. And I've said to every single one of those people, don't worry, we have Saturn there, which is actually going to make things a little bit more realistic and will make things a little bit better. So, as long as you're doing the work, you will pretty much be fine. You have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, it's time to get off the struggle bus for Pisces, plain and simple. So, again, it's time to stop accepting the struggle, and it's time to start kind of claiming that you deserve better, plain and simple. It's kind of a hard thing to describe, Pisces, because I'm to be quite honest with you, I'm not even sure how to do it, right? But it's time for Pisces to say no, I don't have to struggle, and I don't have to struggle for every cent that I make. I don't have to struggle for a relationship. I don't have to struggle for this, that, or the other thing. And part of me does believe that it's about claiming it, literally just saying it, right? The other part of me, it says that it's about not accepting it. Like I said, don't surround yourself with sad people. And this isn't about not helping people, but, like I said, I definitely would be careful who you surround yourself with and with people, especially if you have a bunch of negative people or whatever. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Wands, we really have to take control of the direction of the wheel. And so the Wheel of Fortune spins whatever direction it wants. We can control the direction of the wheel by living in the center of the wheel. When we live here, we can see good things and bad things that are coming in for us. And the trick with the Wheel of Fortune is to take care of the challenges right away instead of hiding from them, and to double down on the winners, the good things that are happening. And if we do that, we can control the direction of the wheel. Kind of for you, you have this snake right here. Snakes represent our vibration. It's a squiggly snake here, Pisces, so it represents your vibration. But the snakes are also guardians of portals, and snakes represent fears. And so usually to get something better in life, we have to face some sort of fear and overcome it. So, definitely would be a good time to be bold, assertive, face your fears. And these aren't big fears. These are little things. I think a lot of people are afraid of success, for example. So this is about standing up to that fear. With the Five of Cups, you have the Justice card. Kind of part of me feels that this is about just letting something go. Really? I don't know. It's like maybe you've been in hermit mode for a while. It's like you probably had some sort of tower moment in your past. It literally could be in any area of your life. The Justice card is like, sure, Pisces, like I'm sure that, this could be like with the Justice card to the Ace of Swords, maybe you feel like you deserve an apology for something. Maybe you feel like you deserve a reward for something, and for whatever reason, I feel like this is saying like the faster you can move past that and just move on to the next thing, the better. Right? So I kind of feel this energy of just letting something go. And it could be something difficult that happened to you. And it's like, yeah, maybe you do deserve something for it. But the second you let go of that, you will get something better. And that's what that's saying. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yes, choosing the right people, right? The Three of Pentacles, these people are supporting his vision. Obviously, not everyone in our life can support our vision. And that's not even a bad thing. It's like there are just some people who just don't see it. And it doesn't mean we have to like cut those people out or anything like that. It just means spend a majority of your time with the people who support your vision. Right here, he's built something of quality. This is a card of quality work. So I feel this is about surrounding yourself with the right people. You can't make this up, Pisces. You have this request card and this prepare card. Like I said, I feel you need to claim something or ask for something with that request card. Like literally ask the universe or ask your higher self for guidance or, something else like that. The prepare card, I definitely time to prepare because you have the Judgment card, Six of Wands, the Ace of Swords. It's like you have to prepare for speed or a direction that you're going to be moving in. You have the Judgment card. This is the area of the reading that represents messages from your future self. And the Judgment card is your higher self calling you up to something. And these people are making a change. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. So they are stepping into a new life. And I literally feel that you should be preparing for a new life, for a big change that could be coming, and it could be very rapid. I always say that, I think I said this in the last reading that I just did for you. I can't remember what that was, the bonus reading for April. It's like people don't see what's going on below the surface for Pisces. It's like people can't see. If you've ever been to a river, it's like unless it's super clear, it's like you can't really see what's going on underneath the surface, right? And so it's like people don't really see it, and that's definitely a challenge I think Pisces will be dealing with. It's like the direction you're going in, but it's like, people might be doubting it in your life, but who cares? You've been doing the work. And I feel like that's what this Judgment card is saying. It's like, yeah, it's like, sure, people might doubt it, but, if they knew all the stuff that you did to prepare, it's like they would probably feel differently, but they don't know. So, I think this is about answering the call no matter what. The other thing is you have the Six of Wands. The results that he has received are undeniable, Pisces. Like, he is being celebrated for his success because there's proof that he should be successful. And so I kind of feel like this is saying, prove it, Pisces. It's like whatever you're doing in your life or whatever you want to do in your life, there's no need to get people on your side or, there's no need to get people to believe in your path or what you're doing. I think it's kind of like a little bit of a time to prove it with the Six of Wands, because it's like once you have the results, then it will be undeniable. And this could be in any area of your life, anything that you're working on or creating or building. It's like, just do it and then you will get the reward or you will get the victory. And the Six of Wands is a card of a victory. The Ace of Swords is also a card of a victory. So there could be a victory coming in for you in the near future, based off of like whatever you are working on or whatever you're working towards. The Ace of Swords, with the Justice card can also be like law and order. But like I said, like this part of the reading right here is like saying to me that like your victory in life, it's not going to be like an apology. It's not going to be like people saying like you were right or anything like that. Your victory is just going to be the freaking results, plain and simple. And, it's like as a Pisces, I totally get it. I think sometimes we get stuck in, just thinking about things and, all this other stuff. But it's like you could have these results much sooner if you just, got to work on whatever you're working on. With the Judgment card, you have the Magician, which is great. The Magician can say that I almost dropped it, that you are manifesting things, which I think it is an amazing time for manifestation for you. Could also be a time of reinvention. We have these like significant change cards going on here. He has the snake wrapped around his waist right here. The snake is the Ouroboros. The snake represents reinvention. It's like, to become the thing that you want to be, you have to be it before you can be it. So I think you just need to start acting as if you already are whatever you're trying to accomplish. With the Six of Wands, you have the Fool. Definitely a new start going on here. It's like, this kind of feels like to me, I don't even know what to call it. Excuse me. My allergies are bonkers this year. And yes, I take everything, so don't worry. I'm taking stuff. It's not like I'm just suffering for no reason, right? But what I would say here is that it's almost like a quick change, a quick about face. This could really be shaking people up in your life. I don't know. I feel like there's something going on with people. People in your life are like, what are you, crazy making this change? Or what are you, crazy, leaving your job, or, whatever it is that you're doing. I kind of feel like Pisces is doing something crazy. It might not be just this week. This might be something that you're working on over the next couple months, right? But again, people don't necessarily see where you're coming from. The thing about the Fool is that he has these tattered sleeves right here. And it kind of, the Fool goes from the Fool to the World. He goes through the major arcana, the whole entire major arcana. That is the Fool's journey. And the tattered sleeves basically say he's done it before. So it's like, you already know what to do, And so if you're taking some sort of leap of faith, towards anything new, I feel that it's like you've done it before. There's really nothing to worry about. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Devil. I would be careful of the past person with this thing going on right here. With, you could be getting an apology from like a past toxic person or whatever. I don't know. It's like, you could accept it and just move on, right? But the Devil tells me this person hasn't really changed. So, I would definitely be careful of that type of vibe. Next, in your outcome position for the good stuff, you have this card. It says, what do you need to release? You also have this card. Yes, it says, have faith in your dreams. Definitely true. Based off of this reading, you need to have faith that the things that you're working on, the things that you're doing can be successful. And there's clearly something that you need to release, clearly, in this reading. So I would release whatever that is. You have the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords. The High Priestess can represent your intuition, of course. So she has no roof over her head on this card, and it represents unlimited potential. So I feel that, number one, you need to believe in your potential. Number two, she has these 3 stages of the moon on her crown, and those 3 stages represent the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of anything that she's doing before she enters into it. But she's not necessarily doing that intuitively. She could just be visualizing how she wants things to go. So I think visualization could be very important for you with the High Priestess as well. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. Ten of Pentacles forms the Tree of Life, which, guess what? We have the tree right here with the Tree of Life on it right here. So clear, and also the star. So the Ten of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire in your life. And, I always say that the Ten of Pentacles, like building and leaving a legacy. We don't really do it like immediately. It's not something we build overnight. It takes time. But I think a lot of you could be building kind of like a more perfect vision of your life with the Ten of Pentacles. I also feel there's like a lot of credit here where you could finally be getting the credit for the work you've done, which we've kind of talked about. But this is more saying prove it. Prove that you can do what you say. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords in the good stuff is like clarity. She is thinking this or that, and I always say she needs to get to this island over here because that island represents like a new solution or a better way of doing things. But coming up in the good stuff, it kind of says that you're not choosing this or that. I feel like you are choosing like a third option in your life at this time, and you could be making a very kind of like rapid change here in your life where I think to the outside world, it looks like you've lost your mind. But I think on the inside, below the surface, you know exactly what you're doing. I hope that makes sense. With the High Priestess, you have the Five of Pentacles. I do think it's time for Pisces to come out of the cold. It's coming up in the good stuff. So again, in the good stuff, the Five of Pentacles says, that you are focusing on your strengths and you're not focusing on your weaknesses. Definitely could be financial improvements this week as well. I definitely think that those two eclipses maybe brought up some sort of fear or worry for Pisces financially. The last time we had that set of eclipses, Virgo Aries, was in 2006. So, think back to 2006. Were you dealing with a financial issue? Were you dealing with a financial problem? I've had some people say to me, I was a baby in 2006. And I'm like, well, you might not know this, but it's like maybe your parents were having financial issues at the time. I think people don't realize, like, even when we're babies, like, if our parents are dealing with a financial issue or stress when we're babies, we definitely pick up on that. We definitely feel it. And whether we realize it or not, it can affect us in the future when we're older. So I think that a lot of you could be clearing that energy out. With the Ten of Pentacles, oh, love it. I told you. You cannot make this up, Pisces. I said I would have loved to see the Five of Wands here. And you have it on a very good card. Yes, I feel very good. I really wanted to see the Five of Wands in this reading because, over here with the Tower and the Eight of Swords, I don't know. I just had this feeling that the Five of Wands would be a good card for you to get because, sure, the Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition, but the Five of Wands is really actually a good card. These people are learning how to fight. They're learning how to deal with conflict and competition. And so they have a choice. They can take part in competition or they can take what they've learned and they can rise above the competition. And that's what's going on here in this reading. It's like you have the Six of Wands, Five of Wands, and the good stuff would literally say that you're rising above the competition. So really good. With the Two of Swords, you have the Eight of Swords. Again, setting yourself free. You definitely could feel more like less stuck in the week of the 14th. So if you've been stuck or if you've been feeling like you don't know what direction to move in your life or where to go, a lot of you could be kind of like setting yourself free with that energy. So that looks good. Let's see here. You have this January card. I always clarify these monthly cards, and you have this rat card. It says someone working against you behind your back. There is a lot of astrology that could be saying that you are realizing, like the people that do things behind your back, or it doesn't even feel like behind your back. This feels very specific to me. It feels like there have been people in your life who it's like they have their mind made up about you and they're just like waiting to be proven right. It's like sometimes I think people think like, oh, that person isn't really who they say they are. And the second you show weakness, they're going to jump on it, right? So do not let this person prove themselves right is what I feel like saying. You have this fair woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. And you have this vase. It says secret admirer. Definitely could be a man or a woman. We also, I'm just going to pull you an extra card because you also have this fair man. So there could be like a fair person that is interested in you at this time if you are looking for love. So let's pull that extra card. You have this table. It says hard work ahead. Definitely, I think Pisces will be working hard. Saturn, especially when Saturn, moves into Aries, which will be next year. But still, that doesn't mean you shouldn't start right now. And one thing I will also say, Pisces, is there's a big difference between like hard work and efficient work. I think that hard work is the wrong answer right now. I think efficient work is the answer. Now, that could still mean that you're working hard, right? We can, as long as we're working hard and getting a better result back, that's really what we need to focus on. You have this dog barking. It says advice from a friend. Yes, make sure, Three of Pentacles, that it's a friend who supports the vision. That's the type of advice you should accept. And you have this lion. It says time to act. Yes, I think it's time for you to be a lion. I always say to Leo that real lions like to hunt, right? And so I think it's time for you to discover what your thing is. It's like lions hunt. What does Pisces do? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I have no freaking clue what I do most of the time. So you're going to have to figure that out. But it's like, is there some sort of practice or, some sort of activity or some sort of work that is Pisces? And that's really what I think that's the essence of the reading. But damn, this is one heck of a reading, Pisces. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.